कृपां कुरु महादेवी सुतेषु प्रणतेषु च चरणाश्रयदानेन कृपामयि नमोऽस्तु ते. Oh, I bow down to that great Devi who is full of compassion. I seek her compassion, being her child, and who has taken refuge at her lotus feet. Readings from and reflections on the book Holy Mother Sri Sarada Devi. The book has been authored by Swami Vimokshananda. We welcome to this reading class, which is the 11th week, page 57. In a mood of self-surrender. When life was despaired of, the mother came round miraculously by taking refuge in the goddess. Humanity has here a demonstration of the infallibility of divine intervention, though it is not possible for all to rely absolutely on it. Only those, like the Holy Mother, whose hearts are full of devotion, succeed in this. But if the deity can once be made propitious through the supplication of such rare souls, weaker persons can share in the good fortune. The Holy Mother had a lifelong and incomparable devotion to Simhavahini. With full faith, she took some earth from the basement of the shrine, kept it in a case, put some of this in her mouth now and then, asked her niece Radhu to do so, and related the legends of her greatness to others. Encouraged by the mother's success, others too offered vows to the deity and got their wishes fulfilled thereby. This, as also the efficacy of that earth in curing diseases, spread the fame of Simhavahini all around, drawing even to this day numbers of pilgrims to her shrine. Chandramani Devi, the blessed mother of Sri Ramakrishna, passed away at the age of 85 on the 27th February 1875, the birthday of the Master. As the last moment drew near, the old lady was taken to the Ganges, and the Master offered flowers, sandal paste, and tulasi, holy basil leaves, at her feet. The Holy Mother was then at Jairambati. She seemed to have fallen on evil days, because hardly had she recovered from dysentery and family bereavement when she had an attack of malaria with enlargement of the spleen. For treatment of the spleen trouble, she had to go to Kayapat Badanganj, where it was singed. This was a cure remedy of a bygone age. Its curative effect was disputable, but the suffering of the patient was indescribable. After ablution, the patient was made to lie on the ground and held down by some strong persons so that he might not escape. Then the medicine man would take in hand a burning piece of jujube wood and rub it on a plantain leaf laid over the region of the spleen. The skin would get burned and the patient would shriek and scream. It is said that the Master too had his spleen treated thus at the marketplace of Kayapat Badanganj. When Shyama Sundari Devi went to the local Shiva temple with her daughter, some other people were undergoing the treatment, and the Holy Mother saw their plight and heard their screams. When her turn came, she stepped forward to the place after bath, and some persons advanced to hold her fast. But she said, "Nobody need hold me. I myself shall lie down quietly." And in fact, she went through that ordeal in silence. The spleen shrank up for some reason and she regained her health. It is an admitted fact that when God or any of his powers incarnates, the avatar does not forthwith begin a frontal fight with the adverse forces in the shape of existing institutions, but rather diverts them to new channels of usefulness, reorientates them, diverts them of their malignant incrustations, or manifests his glory despite them. By thus demonstrating the force of spiritual ideals before erring humanity, the avatar encourages men to make fresh attempts for progress. We do not know what motives prompted such actions of the mother, but she herself declared, "I have done much more than is necessary for setting an ideal." From such a standpoint of setting an ideal, should we understand some of these anecdotes in the mother's life, which otherwise seem to us moderns as irrational. Religious writers agree that God becomes merciful through our devotion. We had a verification of this in the awakening of Simhavayini. Religious people are also agreed that any act or process that is taken recourse to by a holy man for the fulfillment of his objective acquires such an extraordinary potency that through it is achieved some result which could not otherwise have been predicted. In the contraction of the spleen, we had a demonstration of this. The scriptures also declare that if the devotee is really earnest, God becomes gracious and abides forever in his house. This will be proved by the worship of the goddess Jagaddatri in Shyama Sundari Devi's house at Jairambati, to which event we shall now turn. But before we actually do so, we shall have a peep back at the natural disposition of the Holy Mother. It is astonishing to think that an uneducated village girl like the mother should not have lost her head or been puffed up with pride either at the sight of her husband being adored as an incarnation by the rich and cultured society of Calcutta, or by herself being worshipped by that most revered saint who was the doyen of all spiritual giants in that city. On the contrary, she became all the more considerate towards her old acquaintances and more devoted to her village gods and goddesses. Her husband was not resourceless at the time, but even so, she did not worry or embarrass him by asking for monetary help, even in the worst days of her privation. She preferred to endure her lot amidst the poverty of her paternal home. Only at times did she lift her heart in prayer to God. It was no wonder then that where there was a combination of this absolute surrender on the part of the daughter with the unquestioning devotion of the simple-hearted mother Shyama Sundari Devi, the worship of the powerful goddess Jagaddatri was possible in a poor mud house. Once, at the time of the Kali worship, Nava Mukherjee, as a result of some village feud, did not accept the gifts of rice and other things from Shyama Sundari Devi, which were her contribution to the joint endeavor at worship. She had gathered together these things with the greatest effort and the utmost sincerity, but another man's cruelty now deprived her of the chance of offering them to the deity. Her sorrow was so painful that she spent a sleepless night and went on repeating, "This rice I prepared for Kali, and this has not been accepted. Who will now eat this? Indeed, it is Kali's rice and nobody else can eat it." Then a deity appeared to her in a dream and awakened her by patting her body. Opening her eyes, Shyama Sundari Devi saw the deity, red in hue, sitting near the door with one leg placed over the other, who said, "Why do you weep? I shall eat Kali's rice." Why do you worry? Shama Sundari inquired. Who are you? The deity replied, I am the mother of the universe. I shall accept your worship as Jagaddatri. Next morning, Shama Sundari Devi said to the Holy Mother, Dear Sarada, who is the deity with the red hue resting one leg on the other? The mother said, She is Jagaddatri, to be sure. Grandmother then said, I shall worship Jagaddatri. She went on talking about that worship off and on. She secured from the Vishwas family about 400 pounds of paddy. It was then raining incessantly. Grandmother said, Mother, how shall I worship you? I can't so much as dry the paddy. But through the grace of the goddess, it so happened that though it rained all around, grandmother's mat on which the paddy was spread had plenty of sunshine, and she got it husked and converted into rice. The clay image of the deity had to be painted after drying it under fire. Uncle Prasanna went to Dakshineswar to invite Sri Ramakrishna for the celebration. But he said, Mother will come, Mother will come. That's excellent. But weren't you in very straitened circumstances, my dear? Uncle replied, You have to come. I have come to take you. The master said, I am as good as already there. It's fine. Go and have the worship. It's fine indeed. It will do you good. The worship was duly performed. Many people from far and near were invited and heartily fed. The rice was enough for all. At the time of the immersion of the image, grandmother whispered in the ears of the goddess, My dear Jagai, do come again next year. I shall be making arrangements for you all the year round. This is a beautiful passage from the life of Holy Mother Sri Sarada Devi. We are in the 11th week of our readings and reflections. One important point that we gain from reading of this passage is the philosophy and the practical aspect of its application in life by the Holy Mother. Now we have seen earlier weeks in this book, in the introduction as well as in the first two chapters, Swami Gambhirananda Ji goes in detail who was Holy Mother Sri Sarada Devi. He explains in a way so that we can understand partially. Full understanding of the Holy Mother can come only if she graces and she gives that knowledge to us. But otherwise, by reading this book, we get a glimpses of her greatness. So one of the glimpses that he gives us is that when incarnation appears in this world for the good of the mankind, he brings his power also in the form of his consort. In the female aspect, he brings along with him. So when that God incarnates in the form of a male principle, then his powers incarnate along with him in the female principle. So he says that there is no difference between Sri Ramakrishna and Holy Mother Sri Sarada Devi. They are one in substance, though they are two different bodies, two different genders, but they are one in substance. So that point he very clearly clarified in the beginning. And now here he says that it is an admitted fact, that particular line of philosophy, I am reading it here again, it is an admitted fact that when God or any of his powers incarnates, the avatar does not forthwith begin a frontal fight with adverse forces. That means what? There are adverse forces in the world that has been increasing in number. And that is the very reason why God has to incarnate. If you read the historical situations of the incarnations of God all over the world, take for instance Christ. When Jesus Christ was born, what was the situation of the society at that time, where the spirituality has gone so low, but the religiosity has taken height of its power and glory. People started worshipping money instead of God. And the situation at that time was so bad, so the God has to come in the form of an incarnation to set it right, to establish what we call dharma. So in every incarnation, when you read that what is the situation when the God incarnates as a avatar, that we must first understand. Only then we will be able to appreciate a little why he has to come. So already Sri Krishna says in the Gita that whenever the adharma gets its upper hand and dharma goes down, I incarnate myself on this earth in the human form. So he comes here, and so we must understand that when he comes, okay, he has come now. So will he go on a frontal attack on the adharmic forces? No. He has to grow. He is only baby now. From baby onwards he has to become an adult, and then he has to grow in his sadhana, and he has to get more powers. Then only he will attack. But then slowly around him he sees some of the adharmic forces, and those things he will start attacking in a smaller way. So he won't go straight away and say, let all the dharma be wiped out from the world. It is never so. So he says here that he won't have a frontal fight with the adverse forces, but rather diverts them to new channels of usefulness. So sometimes he diverts them, or another times he reorientates them. Sometimes he removes their malignant powers. So a bad man has come. Jagai Mata, that how the two goons were there at the time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Chaitanya Dev when he was born, and they were also there, and they were goons of the society. They were creating a lot of problems. What Chaitanya did, he did not kill them. What he did, as he says, divest them of their malignant incrustations. Very beautiful English it is. Malignant powers they had to harm the society, he removed those powers from them. So they became good people. So changing the bad people into good, that is also one of the ways. And he manifests his glory sometimes despite all the evils around him. So these are the ways that an incarnation accomplishes the establishment of dharma. Very beautifully said. And then, so he says, you simply see how Holy Mother says here. Holy Mother is the power of the divine incarnation of Sri Ramakrishna. So she says, from such a standpoint of setting an ideal, should we understand some of these anecdotes in Mother's life, which otherwise seem to us moderns as irrational. We are modern people, we are living in the scientific age. Will you accept these type of incidents that happened in Mother's life, which Mother accepted in her time? It seems to be highly irrational. If you have a spleen problem, you will go to a doctor. Practically a doctor, a medical man who is qualified to become a physician, you go to him, not to any quack. And that person will treat you. First he will have a diagnostic methods, and then he will analyze, and then he will find out, oh, this is your problem. Then if necessary, he will do the operation. But this is putting a stone, and the stone is so hot, and keeping it on the side of the spleen, burning the skin of the body, and shrink the spleen to its original size. Well, modern days, you will see it as irrational. But then Holy Mother did it. At that time, she accepted the mores of the society. At that time, the society was like that. So she said, okay, let me accept this. So the credibility of that method was proved by Holy Mother, and she says, by extraordinarily divine devotion if you have, then these things work. If you had gone to Jarambati, where Holy Mother was born, there is a temple. of Mother Durga. That Mother Durga is called Simhavahini. That means riding the lion. She is riding a lion. So she is called Simhavahini. That riding the lion mother, she became so powerful because of Holy Mothers doing worship of her. Before that she was known in the village. Very few people knew her, that power. But then when Holy Mother had problems with her dysentery, with her other physical problems, she used to go there and lie down there for days together fasting. And there is a mud in that temple vicinity. And now what they have done is, if you go to Jaramati, there is a small tub is been constructed where the mud has been put. That is a holy mud. So people take the holy mud when they come back. They take a small portion with them. And then you take, whenever you are physically, you are struck with some type of disease, you just take a small portion and then put it in your mouth and eat. Even now people are doing. Devotees do. And there is a miraculous cure of that mud. You know, waters have that type of propensity. Very near to us, there is a holy well. It's called Mother's Well. And there are different places. Recently, Swamiji took me to the Kerry, and there we found, on the way we are doing that wild Atlantic tour, at that time we saw some places where some saints, holy Tirtha is there, the wells are there. So we both went to the well, took the water and sprinkled, and then 1-2 drops we ate. We drank. Why? These are very important. Because people have got extraordinary faith. How these curative effects come into these physical items is what Swami Gambhirananda is trying to explain. He says, humanity has here a demonstration of the infallibility of divine intervention. There are cases, there are situations in our life where no doctor can cure you. And nobody in the world can help you. There are some peculiar situations come and you have not thought of that type of situation. How do you come out of that situation? Only there must be a divine intervention. So that supreme power, God, gives His grace, and that grace is called divine intervention. At that time, you get a turnover. Suddenly your business has gone so low and suddenly it takes a turn. How it has come? You just, after some years, you sit and then think of it. How did I come out? It is due to my prayers. Recently I was in Moscow and to St. Petersburg. In St. Petersburg, there was a saint, Saint Sergiy. And that Saint Sergiy's cathedral is one of the masterpiece. Wonderful church it is. So I went there. I had to stand for nearly 2 hours in the queue to get into the place inside. Why? So there are a lot of people are standing in the queue. So I was standing there and with my dress, so people were very, very curious. So some people were asking me from where, which country I am, what I am doing here, like that. So I was talking to them. And you know, 1 of 2 Russians could speak English. So I was talking to them. I said, what is the significance of this place? He said, wish fulfillment is the significance of this place. We all have wishes. And we pray to Saint Sergiy and say, oh Saint, fulfill our wish. This is our wish. And I will go to your place when the wish is fulfilled. And my wish was fulfilled. I have now come to give back my thanks to him. And the 2 hours line, such a huge line standing there. So I also went inside and I sat there and I prayed and I did my japa there, mantra japa I did. So those things we do. Why? Because how this power has come, it is because divine intervention is something we must accept if we have devotion. And one person does, that saint has done, Holy Mother Sarada Devi has done. She has gone to Simhavahini temple and did that worship and she got cured. Now, that one person's wonderful devotion, and that devotion has made the deity of its powers awakened. This is called awakening of the deity. People come to us, I'm so happy today. Today 2 devotees have come, one couple has come from Ranchi Sanatorium. They used to come to Ranchi Sanatorium where I was there. That in our shrine was like that. In our shrine, many people have, devotees have experienced many types of mystical experiences they have had in that shrine. Our Guru, Sannyasa Guru, Swami Vimokshananda, he used to come to that place and stay there when he was General Secretary. Suddenly he would tell the headquarters, 1 week I am going to Ranchi Sanatorium and stay there. And what he would do? He would sit in the shrine and he would meditate there. And that power has come there. So when afterwards ordinary people visit that place, they understand the vibrations. They can grasp the vibration and they think, oh, what a wonderful place it is. Why the necessity of pilgrimage has come in our religious life? Every religion has got this type of going into pilgrimage places. Why? It is because in the places of pilgrimage there is a consolidated divine power is present. You may not get in your home that particular vibration, but if you go to that spiritual place and sit there and meditate, and you can see, you can touch that consolidated power. The power is there, you can feel it. So that vibrations you take a few and then come back to your home. So that will be the recharging your batteries. So people go for pilgrimage all the time. Why the people go to ashrams? Why today you have come from all the way from Belfast? It's not for simply to see us and have a cup of tea with us. Cup of tea you can have in your own home. You come here to see the monks, to be with them, to be in the ashram for a few moments. And these few moments are recharging you. Your power is getting recharged. So, when such holy places are there, that holy places will get the vibrations. So he says that the author is very clearly telling, those like the Holy Mother, whose hearts are full of devotion, succeed in awakening the powers of the deity. It was a simple, a stone image of Mother Kali in Dakshineswar temple, where Sri Ramakrishna was appointed as a pujari. Nobody knew the power of Mother Kali there. Everybody knew it is a small statue. Even now the same statue is there. And you know, millions of people are visiting that Dakshineswar temple today, and they feel the power of Kali is, grace is coming to them. They pray and their prayer is fulfilled and they go there. Why? How this power has been generated in that statue, a stone image? It is because of Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna sat there and he used to ask, oh Mother, are you really in this image? Or am I a fool to worship you? He used to ask, if you are really here, show me you are there. You see how scientific his mind was. He was not easily persuaded by any superstition. Because thousands of people are worshipping, I will also worship. No. He said, oh Mother, if you are really here, then show me that you are here. I want to see you. And that absolute surrender to Mother and the devotion of his heart made the deity express, awaken her powers. Now once the power is awakened, the great man has gone now. Long years have gone, passed away. So will the awakened powers of the deity go away? No. The powers will remain there. That's what the author says here. Says, if the deity can once be made propitious, once be made awakened, then what happens? Through the supplication of such rare souls, as saints are given, as Sri Ramakrishna, as other many saints, then what happens? weaker persons like us, ordinary persons like us, normal people like us, who have not got so much of higher spiritual evolution like us, what we will get? Weaker persons can share in the good fortune. That's why the places of pilgrimage have got a special importance. Every religion advocates going for their followers. You go there and go. And that is a wonderful way of going around and looking around this philosophically. Now, the Simhavani mud, as I told you earlier, that she used to put that in her mouth, and now and then she used to relate the legends of the deity to all the people who come to us. Encouraged by the mother's success, others also offered prayers. And slowly, the efficacy of that mud in curing diseases became well known around that place. And the fame of Simhavani is spread everywhere. You see, one great saint, one holy mother came there, and she took that and she proved to the world it is not superstition, it has worked. And then the fame spread. And even now, that faith, with that faith you go there and bring the little mud, and it can cure wonderfully so many diseases. I am not advocating not to go to doctor, mind you. So don't misunderstand me. But you all have your doctors, etc. Okay. And now our herbalist is sitting with us. So you should not think that I am telling that you should not go to your doctor. But along with that, there is what is called a divine intervention, which also is to be accepted in our life. Now, after that, then Sri Ramakrishna's mother has passed away. So there is a bereavement in the family. And now the author is talking about the Holy Mother, Holy Mother's mother and her mother. How the gods become merciful through our devotion. So we saw that. Now, there was one Nava Mukherjee, nearest to Jairambati village. And this man is a very big man. So he used to conduct Kali Puja, Kali worship every year. And for that, Holy Mother's mother, that is Shyama Sundari Devi, Shyama used to keep rice for offering to that Mother Kali during the puja time. You know, it is always done. In Ranchi also I have seen, in our annual puja, people used to start storing things before long time. You know, next year the puja is coming in the month of November. So they would start this is a December month. So next year, what I am going to offer? Well, let me offer 5 kg rice. Let me offer this patali good. You know, good that you know, like jaggery for that puja. Let me offer something. Like the people will decide in their mind. It's a desire. They want to offer to mother, whatever they want to offer. Some ladies used to come and tell me, Swamiji, I want to offer the best sari for the mother, Divine Mother. So we have an image of Divine Mother. It's a human size. Huge size it is. And she is seated on the line. And so it's a huge size. So people used to come. The regular sarees, you know, good saree they used to purchase and give me. Said, Swamiji, please offer this. So we used to offer to mother all those sarees. It is the desire of the devotee who thinks what he should offer. Now you have pre-planned the offering and the puja has come. At that time you are going to take it and give it to that Nava Mukherjee, to asking him, you take it and feed mother, and then it will become as prasad, then it can be fed to all the people. So that is their idea. All the people should be fed, not as a mere food, but as a prasad, as a consecrated food. So that should be as a prasad. So now what is it? The Shyama went there and told Nava Mukherjee, I have collected 40 pounds of rice, I want to give it. So he had some problem in the village, and so he said, he refused to accept that. Now you see, a person, a devoted person has been planning all the time and then has accumulated the food also, the rice also for offering. Suddenly he come and say that, no, I won't accept. What she will do? She felt the Divine Mother has got angry on me, perhaps. So the situation has been created in such a way that my food is not going to be accepted. Oh, what mistake I did. So she started praying to Divine Mother that, please Mother, explain to me why this has not come. So she was praying and weeping, and she is very disturbed mind. One day she had a dream. And she saw one divine personage, a lady-like divine person has come. And she spent a lot of sleepless nights and went on repeating. What she was repeating? This rice I prepared for Kali, and this has not been accepted by that man. So, who will now eat this? It is Kali's rice. I have decided it should be offered to Mother Kali. That rice, I cannot give it to anybody else. So, who will eat now? So, with that, she was repenting and crying. Then, in her dream, a deity came. And she felt, it was a dream, mind you, but she felt physically somebody is patting her back. When somebody is sleeping, you have to get a raise in him, you have to pat him on the back. And then he gets up. So like that somebody was patting her, she felt that. Opening her eyes, she has opened her eyes. It is not a dream. She felt it was a dream when the deity came before her. But somebody patted her back and she opened her eyes. Then it cannot be a dream. Then what it is? It is called vision. By your super power, your eyes get a superpower, and through that you can see the deity. She saw the deity and she didn't recognize who is the deity, who was the deity. But she was in red color and she was sitting near the door with one leg placed over the other. There are deities, different types of deities in Hindu pantheon you will find depicted in different ways. For instance, Lakshmi, you must have seen Lakshmi's pictures. She is standing. She is standing. You have seen pictures of Saraswati. She is sitting there on a rock and putting one leg over the other. And some deities are seated on the lotus flower. So 2 feet together, put together. So you find that different types of postures of deities are there. So this deity which appeared before Shama had put one foot on another and she is sitting at the entrance of the door. Then that deity was telling her, why do you weep? I shall eat Kali's rice. Why do you worry? Because that is what the problem of this lady. She was telling, who will eat the Kali's rice? She said, I will eat the Kali's rice. Don't worry at all. And then she disappeared. Then Shyama Sundari called Holy Mother and said, who is this? Not only that, at that time when the deity told her, it seems she asked her, who are you? Because I do not know you. I can't recognize you. Who are you? Then the deity replied, I am the mother of the universe. In Bengali, called Jagat Dhatri. So she told in Bengali to her that I am Jagat Dhatri. Jagat means universe. Dhatri means one who is holding or holder. So holder of the universe is called Jagat Dhatri. How this entire universe is there? Yesterday morning, Swami Purnanji was describing me the scientific attitude towards the creation of this universe. And he was explaining in detail. Scientists are getting more and more thinking about this creation of this universe. Now no more they can accept certain old theories like Big Bang. That is not satisfying them. So scientists are going more and more into it and trying to find out how this all came. There is one divine power, which we call divine power, which holds this universe. And that universe brings it out. Srishti, Sthiti, Vinashanam. Shakti Bhute Sanatani, Gunashraye Gunamayi, Narayani Namostute. We sing here every day. Srishti means creation, Sthiti means sustenance, and Vinashana means dissolution. Creation, sustenance, and dissolution. All the three powers are with one supreme power. And that power brings it up this universe. It maintains it in an orderly way with the different patterns, and then finally it collapses it. Like that, millions of universes are being created in this universe, and millions of universes are collapsing every moment. Millions of stars are dying every day, and millions of stars are coming up. Cosmologists are telling what wonderful things are there outside. We do not know. We are sitting in a earth which is something like a pinhead space in this cosmos. The universe is so big. And all these things, who is doing? One power is there, which our rishis found out that long back, that there is a divine power which creates, sustains and dissolves. So that divine power, holder of this universe, so it is depicted or it is thought of by these saints and who have seen her in a form of feminine form. So it's called Jagat Dhatri. So she is a mother because she has given birth to this universe. Who gives birth to this in this universe? We find in ordinary humans, mothers only give birth to the children, not the fathers. And mothers, like that in every species you see, the female species gives birth. So this universe has been given birth. So to understand the giving birth, so you must imagine a mother must be there who gives birth to us, to this universe. So she is worshipped in Hindu style as mother of the universe. So she says, I am Jagat Dhatri. You give that rice to me. Then she called Sarada and she said, one leg on the other, who is this deity? She cross-verified with her daughter. And daughter said, that is Jagat Dhatri. Don't you know this? She says, she wants to eat my rice, which I meant for Kali. Said, okay, then let us do the puja. So from that time onwards, Jagat Dhatri puja started in Jairambati. Even till today, the puja is being continued. And in some of our centers also the puja started. As I told you, where they have come from Ranchi, in Ranchi Sanatorium also, where I was there for 12 years. 12 years I saw the puja. Every year some miracle would happen. Something would happen by Mother's grace. We have seen in the lives of the devotees how much changes it would have brought. Even our center itself was in such a precarious condition. It was about to be closed down by praying to Mother, and we have come across that how donations came on its own without you asking anybody. And it stood perfectly on stable legs. So many miracles have happened there. So the worship of the Divine Mother is a very important thing which Holy Mother proved to the world, that you do the puja of Divine Mother and then you see certain things happen. And the grace comes like that. Saints provide the grace. Saints also like that, the awakened souls. Once the awakened soul is there, you go to him and sit under his feet and he provides you the grace. And he says, it will become. And when he says, whatever he says comes from his mouth, it happens. I have seen my Guru talking to me like that. Whatever he said it happened. So, they have got that wonderful, super divine power, which we consider it in our lives as a divine intervention. With the divine intervention, we can definitely overcome all our difficulties. And that is what the lives of great people prove to us. So Holy Mother's life in this instance, the author Swami Gambhirananji clearly explained to us that how that Holy Mother considered Jagat Dhatri, and then Jagat Dhatri came and she was worshipped, and then the rice that was kept for Mother Kali, because Kali, Jagat Dhatri, Durga, these are all different names of one deity, which is in a feminine Shakti we call, the power we call of the God. So she was worshipped and then it was given. Though they were very, very poor, and certain miracles happened. It was during, suddenly the rainy season came and the rains were pouring. Sometimes in India we say it doesn't rain, it pours, we say. Pouring rains. And you know, the whole of village is getting heavy rains. Cats and dogs, as we say in English. Cats and dogs, it was raining. But there was a mat spread and the paddy was kept spread over the mat for getting dried up under the sun. But Holy Mother's Mother Shyama is looking at the divine intervention, how it has come. Everywhere it was raining, except the portion of the mat. And there the sun rays are falling. She was stunned how the paddy got dried up in that process, while everywhere. And then the paddy was husked and then converted into rice, and the clay image of the deity, it was painted after drying it under fire, and then the mother was worshipped and the rice was offered. So when the rice was cooked and offered to the deity, it becomes prasad. So what you do with the prasad? You distribute to the people. People who have come with great devotion and attended the puja, you distribute them. So the entire rice was given for all the people. All the people were heartily fed. Sometimes, you know, during puja for mother, you are preparing something and the preparation becomes extremely well. In other days when you prepare, you may forget to put salt, you may have some defect may be there. But you are doing it for a specific purpose of divine offering. At that time, the food becomes extremely wonderful. And when it is well cooked, people are very happy, satisfied, they are heartily fed. So she says, the rice was enough for all. That means there was no paucity of rice. Everybody got the food. So such miracles we see in our own lives. If you touch your own heart and see, there were certain circumstances where we were very much struggling. At that time, by our prayer, by the grace, the divine intervention has acted and made us proper. So the divine intervention is what that we all require that. We shall proceed further for other weeks. Om Kripam Kuru Mahadevi Suteshu Pranateshu Cha Charanasrayadanena Kripamayi Namostute Hari Om Tassat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.